you're somebody who's from the finance background, and second, you have interacted with the pride community. Now I want to understand, how do they marry?
This work life balance is such a myth, and it is only created to put pressure, I think, on women.
What advice do you have for me when I'm entering the financial market as a rookie?
We have to understand that all these asset classes, they all work on a beautiful model called compounding. So if you start early, you are going to see the returns also going in leaps or not after a certain period of time. The book has a beautiful lesson about active income and passive income. We all struggle throughout our life to actively working and earning money, but we only get out of this rat race when your money starts working for you.
Now, as the Pride Month is approaching, I wanted to understand, how did you come across the queer community?
We are the privileged one where we get everything and we still complain about life. But when you go and interact with them, you realize that they're going through so much and still they're going and becoming part of somebody else's celebration. You know, when they come and beg you 10 rupees, 20 rupees, they're still smiling. They want you to give them.
Hi everyone. Welcome to House of Equentis podcast, which also means equal existence. Today we have Nisha with us, who has over 2 decades of experience in accounting, finance, CA, and is a serial entrepreneur from the last 14 years. She runs a company called Qinfin Consulting, which is into accounts and finance outsourcing. Nisha, thank you so much for being here. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Perfect. So please help our audience with a 1-minute introduction about yourself.
So, I started my journey as an entrepreneur 14 years back. Before that, I was a banker. So, you can put me as a ex-banker come entrepreneur. I'm loving this journey. My life revolves around finances because of my qualification and my interest. I have a small family and a son, and I love the city Bangalore. I came in 2006 and there's never been looking back.
Amazing. So, how did you get into the world of finance and startups and everything? What was the starting point?
I think the day I was born in a Marwari family in Calcutta, finance was in my blood. So in Calcutta, though, if you're good in studies and you grow in a Marwari family, they're only talking about finance, money, accounts. So by default, I just completed my CA, and it so happened that I completed my CA with All India rank.
Wow.
So CA, CS, then MBA finance, everything was about finance. So I cannot think of anything other than finance, and that's how I ended up also in finance. My first job was, as I said, I was a banker in ICICI Bank. Post that, I started on my own again into this similar field.
Wow. And do you trade and invest actively?
Yes, I do invest actively. Trading, not so much.
All right. And for the general audience, can you explain the difference?
So trading means if I take a position in the market, for example, suppose I buy XYZ stock today and I feel that the prices will go up, I will take a position, I'll buy some stocks and then I'll wait for the market to go up and sell it. So I'm actively trading. You know, there's a upside, and if I feel the market is going down, I'm going to just book my losses and exit the stock. That is called trading, where you really need to be glued to the screen and look how the market is moving throughout the day. In investing, when I know that so what I look at is the fundamentals of the company. So when I feel the company has got good fundamentals, they are doing well, they have a good growth story, I invest in them and then stay invested for a long period of time, nothing less than 2 years, 3 years, and after
Wow.
that I decide whether I should exit or still keep the position on. So that's different between trading and investing.
Amazing. Okay, I think you've cleared a lot of concepts for me also today. Now, as the Pride Month is approaching and we have set up this whole podcast to talk about that topic as well, I wanted to understand, how did you interact or how did you come across the queer community, and what was it like? How was the experience?
So I would like to thank my a very good friend called Samir, who was the one who introduced me to this community. So it so happened during COVID time we were actively working on several programs where we were helping people, right from getting them beds in the hospitals to helping them get ration and so many other things. At that point of time, Samir said that he's also working very actively with transgenders particularly, and that's where I said, and he asked me, would you like to be part of it? I said, why not? And then I went along with them, interacted with transgender community, and realized that this is one community during COVID who were also very badly impacted.
Correct.
One, of course, the way they make money is by begging through skin business, and during COVID, everything was stopped. So they were really struggling to make them ends meet, and that's why we thought if we can do something for this community, why not? And when I went and met them and interacted with them, we realized that there are few people in the community who wants to be on their own. They want to become, in our startup world, entrepreneurs. So we identified these people and asked them what would they like to do. For example, someone said that I would like to have a machine. She wanted to do stitching work, like a job work. So we collected funds and we gifted her this sewing machine, and very glad that she became independent and she's on her own right now. So that was my starting point where I started interacting with them a little bit. And then I realized that there are so many other people in the community who are working so actively for them,
Okay.
and I was like nothing. And when I interacted with them, I really felt for them. I thought that if I could do something for them, why not? So that's was my, what do you say, my starting point with queer community or with
Got it.
transgenders.
So you interacted with them.
Yeah.
You also helped them. You practically helped a few to build their livelihood.
Yeah.
How was your whole experience? Um, what were the challenges that you saw with them and helping them?
Okay, I think helping them is a big word. I
Mm-hmm.
just did a small contribution, I would say. Um, s- See, before COVID, I never had a one-to-one interaction with them, or I never went and interacting them in the group. We always saw them like in Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
I come from Calcutta, right?
Okay.
So we have always seen them that whenever there is a child is born or you buy a house, they come and you pay them, and it is very pious for them to come, and we give them money and whatever we can.
Huh.
But then nobody wants them to stay. This like just give them and just shoo them away types, right? And
Correct.
in Bangalore, I saw that they used to. Of course, we see at every nook
Red
and
lights.
corner
Yeah.
traffic, signals. They are begging, and we always had a very different perception about them. That you should be scared of them, and they are not very friendly community, etc., etc. But when I interacted with them, I actually went to the place where they stay, and then you realize that uh, it's the kind of life they live. It's not so easy. We are the privileged one where we get everything, and we still complain about life. But when you go and interact with them, you realize that they're going through so much, and still they are going and becoming part of somebody else's celebration. When they come and beg you 10 rupees, 20 rupees, they're still smiling. They want you to give them. So you just realize that they're going through so much, but still they don't lose the smile on the face. And that's why I felt if I could do something for them, I would feel really, really happy about it.
Okay. When did you exactly, which year are we talking about when you
We're talking
started?
about 2020 or 2021, that era.
Do you think things have improved in the last 1 decade for the community?
As I said, I have just started interacting them during COVID times. So I don't know before COVID what it was. But one thing I would definitely like to see that uh, Bangalore is one of the most active or most coming forward city to include LGBTQ community in the corporate culture.
Oh, wow.
There are certain diversity inclusions conferences that I happen to attend, and there you get to know that these multinationals, these big corporates, they are taking lot of interest and steps to include LGBTQ in their workforce.
Um, so, you are somebody who is from the finance background,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
And second, you have interacted with the pride community. Now, I want to understand, how do they marry? Like, are there any, statistics or numbers that you have read on how these people are investing, how these people are using their money?
I don't want to give any conclusive statement that they are too far away for investing, because I don't know. My interaction has been very limited with
Correct.
this community. But what I can say is that finance per se, uh, in India, I would say, is very still very gender biased. People feel that financial decisions should be taken by the male counterparty in the family. And whether you are pride community, whether you're a woman, we all are struggling to make our place and say that I will take or call the shots when it is related to money or it is related to investing. So for pride community, I don't know, I don't have any data or that I have read of any data, but I feel that there's lot of potential for us to work with them. They are earning. If we can do some financial lessons for them, we do some engagement sessions with them, make them aware what it is. If you say 500 rupees, that also you can invest. If you say 5,000, that also you can invest. So there's no awareness at all. So that I think at government level there should be very very conscious decision to be taken to include this community and do something for them when it is about financial inclusion.
Got it. And when you say there is a lot of potential for the inclusion, what can companies like yours and ours do for this? How can we include more people from the community into companies, train them, give them better livelihood? What's like the first step for somebody who was not aware of this world that much?
I think the very first thing, I think we have to lead by example. So now everybody looks up to big multinationals and
Correct.
corporates. So one is that you have to create a very strong anti-discrimination workplace policy. So that thing should be very very strong. That policy should be very very strong, and not only making the policy, implementing, ensuring that there's somebody accountable if things are not going as per what is promised to them. There are actions taken against them who are not behaving properly with them. Right? Second, I think educating, not only educating them, but educating the people who are imparting the education. The trainers, the teachers, they should know how you should really interact with this community, because there's lot of dropouts that happen, because of various reasons. So if we can create a kind of a structure where how you deal with this community while educating them, that will also create lot of difference. Third, I feel there should be a lot of some skilling, reskilling, upskilling should happen for this community. See, they are also at the end of the day human. Why should we say that they can't do this, they can't do that? Give them a chance. And we have enough examples around the world where the pride community is doing wonders, right? Give them the chance. I think once we give them that opportunities, they will definitely explore it, and I'm sure they're going to do wonders on it.
Thank you so much for addressing the topic for us. Honestly, we usually talk about this stuff when there's a calendar marked for the Pride Community Month. I hope and wish we all go beyond it and do something or do our bits. You're right. I think my memory association is also from these transgenders coming to our places and then asking for money when a child is born, a marriage happens, etc. But I think we are now moving towards a better world. And of course, since I've shifted to Bangalore, I've seen how dynamics have changed. Honestly, when I was back in Delhi, and it's a very different example altogether. I used to see that these people were very pushy with money, that oh, you have to pay or this will happen to you. But in Bangalore, I see if you don't want to pay, don't pay. They will never cross their limit. I think their community is also evolving, and we as human also have to evolve in this direction. So thank you so much for doing that. Now coming back to your forte and your expertise, which is finance, how do you think the world is changing in terms of finance and the accessibility of it? You have spent 2 decades in the industry. What do you think? How do you think things have changed?
I think things have changed drastically. I was a banker myself, and we have seen traditional banking. Internet banking was just picking up at that point of time. And then suddenly now everything has moved on a mobile phone. So in terms of accessibility, I think this lot of fintech companies have come where you just need to have a mobile phone with a internet access, and you can do anything that you want. We have platforms like Grow, Zerodha, PhonePay. At the click of a button, you can do investing. At a click of a button, you can raise money, you can get funds. So I think everything possible that you can think of in terms of financing and investing, you can do at a click of a button. So obviously the world has evolved, and the fintech has brought that change, that now the banking, the investment has gone beyond geographical boundaries and beyond traditional banking. So yes, it is more accessible and a better world, I would say.
Great. And you've been a coach and a consultant, right? How is that helping you as a founder now?
So coaching and consulting, both of it involves talking a lot with people, right?
Correct.
Either you're working with somebody who's working on a new idea, or you're working with established leaders who are already in their corporate job. When you interact with them, you get to know what is changing, especially with the young founders. When I interact with them, this they when they tell us that the customers preferences are changing and this is why we're developing this particular product or services, it gives so much of insights that how things are changing and how dynamic the world is. So this interaction with the established leaders or with these entrepreneurs or founders gives me a lot of insights, because at the end of the day, when I come back for my bread and butter to Qinfin Consulting, we are dealing with clients across sectors, be it
Okay.
manufacturing or services. And these inputs really help me to interact with them and customize our services as per what they need.
Got it. And so what was your motivation starting Quinfin Consulting? कैसे आया दिमाग में कि okay, now I want to do this? Because I assume you had a very cushy corporate job as well and you never had to leave it, etc. So how was the transition like and what was the motivation like?
See, as I said, I always wanted to do something on my own. Coming from, again, from
Marwari
Marwadi family,
family,
business is
correct.
something you will tend to do sooner or later, I feel. So I saw during COVID time, I saw that the moment you say CA, आपके दिमाग में आता है कि you have to be a lot of paperwork,
Oh, yes.
and मुझे नहीं समझना है. As a founder, you just want that finance accounts आप देख लो, I will just run my business. So we said, why the founders have to be so negligent or ignorant about accounting? It's not, you should know about it. As a entrepreneur, you have to be jack of all trades,
Correct.
but you have to be master in whatever you're doing. So we said we'll create an organization where we'll do accounting compliances, what any other people in the similar industry does. Along with that, we're also going to help entrepreneurs understand why are we doing this.
Okay.
So every month we have a meeting with our clients where we tell them what has happened in the month and how they can do things differently. And these kind of insights really empower them when they are talking to their clients or to their investors. They feel they know their stuff. They are not waiting
Correct.
for the quarter to end or the year to end to know what's happening in their company. So that was the reason that why don't we create an organization where we work along with, you know, helping them also to understand what we are doing. And the moment you say CA and account, nobody wants to get into that business if you don't
Correct.
understand it. And also during COVID, we saw a very big opportunity that people were not able to travel. As a CA, when we take a work of finance and account outsourcing, we have to go to the client's location. That was completely stopped. So we said we are going to create a paperless company. There was lot of data loss, data leakages during COVID time.
Correct.
People left, people died, and there was no clue where the papers were. So we have completely moved to a paperless CA company where all our work is on cloud, and our client have access at any point of time. They can go and access what we have done for their company in terms of accounting and compliances.
Got it. So now you have 14 years of experience as an entrepreneur, and you seem somebody who is very, very on point, very disciplined, etc. So, what are a few core values that you hold up to for your company? Ki acha, if you're joining Quinfin Consulting, these are our values and these are our non negotiables.
So one, I think as a founder, as you rightly said, there are certain core values because you're interacting with so many people. If you do not hold to it, you are always in dilemma. What should we do it? Should we not do it? So the three core values which I feel I always keep it close to my heart. One is perseverance. There is you have to pursue things until you get it. Second, proactiveness. When we're dealing with the client, you have to be really proactive in terms of responding to what they need. And third, keeping your client's interest paramount. You're dealing with their accounts and finance, and there are so many times you should we do it, should we not do it. We always keep our interest of the client as the most important thing, and that makes my life as a founder very, very easy. So perseverance, proactiveness, and my client's interest being paramount are my core values.
Okay, Nisha. Now I know you as the person who does networking events, is going to so many forums and meetings as a speaker, has so many clients, is all about numbers. How do you de stress at the end of the day after your 9 to 7, 9 to 10, whatever it is?
Okay, so I always tell when I go to forums and I meet entrepreneurs that we entrepreneurs are those breed, okay, who leave our job not to work 9 to 6, but only to work 24 by 7. So, um, de-stress, I think a cup of coffee with a friend, or when I go home at time and my son is awake, I interact with them. He's 14-year-old, so when I interact with them, there are a lot of things that he comes up, and so that is, I think, is my de-stress, or my stress buster kind of a thing, and gives me a good sleep at night.
Oh, on a side note, with where do you find the best coffee?
It's not about the coffee, it's about the company.
All right, okay. And so, we started this conversation on a very different note. We started with the Pride community. What does that segment of your life mean to you now? That you have very little but interacted as compared to us who have never interacted. What's your status on it now?
I feel it's very important for all of us coming together and changing our mindset towards them.
Okay.
They are like you and me. It's just that there are certain physical attributes that are different from us. That's it. So if we start looking at them as us, I think a lot of problems will be solved. So I think let's start from there. Then of course there are miles to go, and we will achieve the journey as we move forward.
Got it. See, somebody like me is practically aspiring to be somebody like you and switch seats someday, right? But one thing that I've realized in this whole entrepreneurship journey is that there are a lot of sacrifices that you make. You're often not meeting your family, not attending all the events, etc. How do you strike a balance after 2 decades of working?
So I think this work-life balance is such a myth, and it is only created to put pressure, I think, on women.
Oh, wow.
So let us just burst this myth. There's nothing called work-life balance, and I don't think I will be able to achieve it ever. Work life is a myth, and I don't want to live by it. I live, of course, my early mornings are dedicated to my son till the time he goes to school. Post that, I live the day as it comes. Sometimes my work takes priority, sometimes my family takes priority. But just to say I work only 9 to 6, after 6, my time is dedicated to the family. As an entrepreneur, I don't think we have the luxury of saying so or doing so. Sometimes I'm working at 11 o'clock also, and sometimes I'm leaving as early as 6 a.m. also. But at times I'm back home by 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. and then relaxing with the family. So it all depends how my day works through.
Got it. And ठीक है, so you are practically for an outsider, you're nailing in your life. But what's your biggest motivation? Because initially, when I started making money, my motivation was, okay, I'll buy this, I'll buy that, I'll do this, but I don't know how will I continue after 2 decades of working. So what's the actual motivation इतना काम करने के लिए?
Um, I would say my parents are 70, my mom and my
Okay.
dad, and they're still working.
Oh,
Working,
wow.
as in my mom is a avid investor in stock market. My dad is he helps my brother in the business. So at this age also, I never see them complaining, say I don't want to work, I want to retire. They're still financially independent, they're still doing their chores on their own, and I want to live like them. I do not to be dependent on anyone for anything. And I think that really motivates me, that wow, if they can do it, I can definitely do it. And that keeps me going. And then I have a son who's looking up to what I am doing. Am I just sitting at home, or I'm struggling with work, but still I'm doing it? So though, and you become like a role model to them, as my parents are to me. So I want to be a good role model to my son, that my mom never gave up, and she always made her way through. Small, big, that doesn't matter, but she was always moving forward.
Got it. And Nisha, if I give you an eraser right now, and you don't have to be a chartered accountant, or you were not a chartered accountant, what would you be then?
I would definitely be a social worker.
Okay.
That is, in fact, I feel once, if someday I retire, I will definitely go 100% into social worker.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a very hot question now. How do you manage your money?
I manage money on my own. I read a lot, and I do a lot of study on stocks, on companies, how they are doing, and that gives me some inputs into where I should put my money. So stock market is my favorite place to invest money in, and I'm my own advisor. So I talk to people, I read, and then, but of course I do what my heart says at the end of the day. And touch wood, I always made good returns, so no complaints.
Oh, wow. Ideal world. I am just starting off. What advice do you have for me when I'm entering the financial market as a rookie or a newbie?
Yeah, I think it's very good that I see you're very young and you're starting young. We have to understand that all these asset classes, being a mutual fund or other investment, instruments, they all work on a beautiful model called compounding. So if you start early, you are going to see the returns also going in leaps or not after a certain period of time, right?
Correct.
So if you don't understand stock market, go for mutual funds. Funds are subject to market risk, but honestly, they don't disappoint you. So that advice is there. But then, if you go, I think go slow, but go consistently. Like it's not that this month I have 10,000, I have not spent. I'll spend next month. I'll just do 5,000. Don't do that. First, you save. I always live with that philosophy. First, you save, then you spend.
Invest.
So if you live with that, after 20 years, you will definitely think about me.
Oh, absolutely. All right. And what's your favorite book?
My all-time favorite book and the book I live by is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And the book has a beautiful lesson about active income and passive income. We all struggle throughout our life to actively working and earning money. But we only get out of this rat race when your money starts working for you. And that's what the book teaches you, that when you're actively earning, how do you invest your money in different asset classes, that money starts making money for you. Financial independence is the true independence, is mantra I live by.
Okay. Are you ready for a rapid fire?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Accounting or finance?
Finance.
Teamwork or working solo?
Teamwork.
All right. Traditional banking or digital banking?
Digital banking.
Oh, why so?
It's at the click of a button. I don't have to go to the bank to deposit money or transfer money.
Your productivity hack?
I take at least 15-20 minutes break after every 60 to 90 minutes of serious working. That's my productivity. It gets me into shape again.
A book or a movie?
A movie now. Enough of books.
Oh my God. Which movie would you recommend all of us to watch?
I think recently I saw this movie called Shrikant Bola.
Okay.
It is about this guy who's visually impaired and how he made his way through to MIT. Must watch for everybody. Very inspirational movie.
This has been a very wholesome morning for me. I obviously had my coffee, but then I got to meet you, and I've learned so much about being calm, being composed. I think I'm always on fire, doing this, that. And also, you explaining a side to all of us that we never knew existed, and we can also contribute in some or the other capacity. So thank you so much for coming here. Now my last question, because that's my job as a host, is to understand you as a woman in finance. What advice would you give to another woman who is planning her finances at the moment after watching this podcast?
I would say to all the women out there, finance is not gender biased. Right? If you make mistakes, so does the male counterpart. So it's your money, take the charge and call shots in investing or managing your money or finance.
Got it. Thank you so much. And that is a beautiful note to end, that it's not gender biased. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.